Hi, I'm Susie with Firehouse, and with me today are...
Dr. Richard Guest, I'm Principal Assistant to the Fire Chief in Kansas City and Consultant to the National Fallen Firefighters.
And?
I'm Vickie Taylor, and I'm the Behavioral Health Consultant for the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation.
So can you give me an idea, the rollout of Initiative 13, what is it and what's going on?
Initiative 13, one of the 16 life safety initiatives of the Everyone Goes Home program, deals with behavioral health of our fire service workforce. It's to ensure that firefighters and their families have access to counseling services and psychological support. But it goes well beyond that. It talks about the health and well-being of our organizations and the people who serve our communities. Over the past 5 years, the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation has brought together the country's leading experts on behavioral health and issues of concern to the fire service and the leading organizations representing our personnel, and put together methods that are very practical, easily usable, very cost efficient to help departments assemble the best behavioral health program to serve the people who serve our communities.
Vickie, what can you tell me about, how you all, what kind of research and what kind of tools are out there to help the fire service?
So the thing that we're most proud of, I think, is that we brought together, as Richard said, the best people across the country to help us in this endeavor. And so we have a whole set of products that are available to the fire service to help them in such areas as thinking about instituting in your organization an after-action review, reviewing each time you turn a wheel. What was your mission? How did it go? What went well? What are things that might need improvement? What might we do differently? And who else needs to know? So that's each and every day. We also have a component which is called curbside manner for the street. So this is a very easy set of actions that fire and EMS personnel use in their interactions with citizens to help them on their worst days.
And now you're talking about doing, not just waiting for the big one to bring in the folks. I've heard over the last day or so, do it after a lot of different incidents.
We get good, we get proficient at the things that we do every day. We can handle a bus wreck because it's a lot of broken ankles in one place, and we handle broken ankles every day. All we need is the equipment and the system to do a lot of them at one time. Well, it's the same thing in here. We're good at what we do every day. We don't treat a firefighter's broken leg any different than a citizen's broken leg. We have the skills when we've got to go into action because they're the skills we practice. We want the skills that firefighters need to help one another to come from the things they do every day, helping the citizens they serve. So the things of which Vickie was just speaking are part of that. Let's get into our repertoire the things that we need later so they're always at hand when we need them most. And they're the first thing we reach for when the need arises.
Vickie, can you tell me a little bit about stress first aid and how that fits into everyday operations?
So the beauty of stress first aid for fire rescue personnel is that it is built on the same principles as curbside manner. So this is the program of delivering care to citizens. So the things that firefighters are practicing every day in assisting citizens are the very same actions they would use to help themselves and to help one another. We simply add a couple other actions because this is not a program that just gets rolled out after an incident. This is every day. It's every day paying attention to the behavioral health and well-being of yourself, of your coworkers, of the people that work with and for you, so that when there are traumatic events, we're not caught wondering, well, now what do we do to help ourselves? It's the same set of skills that we use each and every day.
So that's why it's important for everyone on the crew, everyone in the department to know how, what to do, what signs to look for if a person's suffering stress or suicidal thoughts or depression.
Nobody knows you better than your best friends. And one thing we have in this industry is we have connections.
Yeah.
The people who know what's going on with the firefighters in our organizations are the other firefighters in our organizations who work with them. If we're all a part of keeping each other healthy, if we're all a part of keeping each other safe, we'll all be a part of making sure that everyone goes home.
And that's kind of what you're talking about making sure everyone goes home, that everybody has the tools and understand it's on website, Fire Hero, is that right? Or
everywhere we can manage to put it.
Okay.
So, yes, but you can find this program by going to any of the websites associated with the foundation. For firehero.org, for Everyone Goes Home, our life safety initiatives, any of those things will take you to the behavioral health program, and you can find all the materials we've talked about accessible from that single program.
And this morning we heard about the importance of confidentiality in these programs. Vickie, is that pretty much imperative?
We talked this morning about peer support programs, and the backbone of good peer support programs is confidentiality. And then peer support programs help bridge firefighters who need more assistance to a higher level of care, where confidentiality is also critically important.
And I understand from your own experience in your county that not all clinicians or counselors are familiar with the fire service and the intricacies of the fire service. Is that right?
It's one of the things as we talked to firefighters all over the country and asked how their behavioral health support services were, that we found that there was a disconnect. There was a disconnect on two levels. One was finding practitioners who understood what they do and why it's so important to them. Mm-hmm. The second piece were practitioners who were trained to deliver the right kind of treatment, which we call in my business evidence-based practice, so that firefighters who are presenting for treatment get the absolute best treatment.
So I guess this will be a program that you've been saying, Dr. Giss, that it's evolving and changing as it goes along?
Absolutely. Now that we've got the fundamental pieces in place, and in a way that fire departments can put them to work tomorrow, we'll be looking at how to deliver other information to help that program be your vehicle to deal with the issues that arise in your agency and our industry. For example, we're taking on the question of suicide in the fire service in a very big way. Last year we brought together the very, very leading experts on suicide epidemiology, that is how it's put together out there, suicide intervention, suicide programs, to pick out of that the things that we can put to use in the fire service. We'll be looking at the end of this year to now go through the same process we did in these programs and turn that into what are the things we can put in the hands of our peers, in the hands of our organizations, and in the hands of our clinicians to deal effectively with that. We're aware that many veterans are coming back now to their jobs in the fire service, or coming back and acquiring jobs in the fire service. They bring back many issues with them, which you've heard about in the press. We want to be able to help those people in the context of their workplace in the fire service have the support they need to help them deal with the situations they bring. We'll be looking to work with the military, with the VA, to help us understand that problem and see what role we can play in assisting them in keeping our veterans engaged and healthy and give them back the reward they should have for the service taking us. These are the kinds of things we're looking at doing, and they will continue to grow as they go on. But first we needed the foundation to make it happen, and what we're doing today is to make sure that foundation gets out so our departments can use it.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay.